Well, you're being disingenuous if you think there's not a chance. So complete total surprise, like oh my god, is like I don't know. There was a chance, but the other actors are really good, so who knows what's going to happen. We don't do this to win an award. If you tried to choose your projects by what you think might win a nomination, oh man, you're dead. You're dead. You have to do things because they move you. You're compelled to do them. And certainly Network was that for me. Patty Chayefsky 44 years ago wrote something that was very prescient about fake news, about being addicted to the newest technology, about not living and seeing and being in the reality of the world, but doing it removed by through television or through your, your iPhone or whatever. And it's important to be able to lift your head and see the world as it really is.
I know. I was just saying. I weirdly am so used to it not going that way, and that I was like, I was genuinely so relieved and happy. I do really feel like this is not just an award for my performance, but it's like an award from my heritage and who I've come from, and for all of the incredible artists that made that piece with me. That I get to be a part of, I think, one of the great Broadway plays of the season, and get to represent that incredible group of artists. Thank you.
So today has been a parade of my friends. The cast of all these shows, we're all texting each other. So it feels great to be a part of the community and to be able to enjoy it. To get to play a character that has to, as an actor in this part, I have so many things that I get to do, and that's very rare. So it's rare to get to use all of those different skills, and I look forward to doing it and to have an audience laughing the way they laugh every night, which is great. It's fantastic. I mean, that's what's so great. We've been doing this show every night, and we leave people on their feet belly laughing, which is so rare, and we all need to laugh so badly right now. I love getting to do that. It's undeniably funny.
All of that. I was relieved. I was still nervous from the performance before. It's a real wild ride, the entire Tony day, from doing rehearsals and then doing a matinee and then coming and then performing and then getting back to your seat. So much like everything else, I just tried to be in my body. I was able to latch eyes onto my mom and my husband, which really settled me. So in that huge venue, somehow our magnets happened, and so that really was grounding. But I'm happy to be on the other side of it, I'll be honest. It means that this business is never what you expect. I never saw the character of Cher coming around the bend. I could have never foreseen this. I think if you told any actress, you want to play Cher in the Cher show, it'd be like, what? What is this project? And yet, when I took the challenge, I said yes strictly for that. The work, the challenge, me being fearful of it, me being scared of what people might think. And there's a wonderful line in the play that says, I've been laughed at my whole life. And I wanted to absorb that. And if people laughed at me for it, so be it. Luckily, the risk ended up with the reward, but I never saw it coming. It meant a lot. It was a gift that enabling me to accept myself more because I played Cher. And I looked at her in the face and I said, I would have never seen this coming. But because I played Cher, I'm embracing my physical person now in my mid-40s more than I ever have. I'm embracing my voice. I'm talking louder. I'm saying I'm sorry a lot less. There's something about standing in her shoes with the strength of who she is that gives you permission to be a little more like Cher. I wish we could all find our inner Chers, because it's a powerful thing.
I decided that I wasn't going to get it. But, the thing is that it's weeks and weeks of, between the nominations and now. And so there's all the time in the world for the adrenaline to sort of gradually ebb away. And I was just sort of praying for it to be over. And then my name got called, and I had to go and sort of dig deep and find some residue of charm. I'm absolutely flabbergasted and really extremely proud. It's always nice to be sort of told you're doing something well. I think the nicest feeling is to know you're doing something well, actually. And then the danger with these things is that you start to attach too much to the medal and lose whatever inner fire was burning brightly, which made people notice you in the first place. But it's great, you know, like who doesn't want to be encouraged and told they're great? It's fantastic.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, it was just unbelievable. I was so happy and so stunned by the entire experience. People tell you, oh, we think you're going to win, but you never believe it until you hear your name. So it was just, I'm still like kind of in shock. When I was a little girl, I was looking to people, you know, and there really wasn't anybody in a chair or with a disability in this arena. And so it just means a lot to be able to do that. I would want to tell them to never ever give up and to, you know, use your limitations and make them into opportunities, that there are opportunities that lie in, you know, whatever challenges that you are handed.
Because I had nothing really to say, and then I remembered Ruth Gordon when she got an Oscar at one time, and you know she was about the age I am now, and she said, "Well, this is very encouraging," and it always made me laugh. And you know, at this age, you don't expect to be getting your first Tony nomination, so it's terrific. Thank you. It's just nice. It wouldn't matter if I hadn't gotten anything, because you do the show for the show, not to win an award. It was hard because it wasn't really her. It's an actress who's pretending, you know, and it's 3 actresses. So it was fun. I loved doing it, and I sort of knew what I was doing right off the bat. I couldn't vary too much.
What was first going through my mind was get to the stage fast, because they're very, very clear with you that you only have 90 seconds. And my speech had timed over that, so I wanted to make sure I got up. But then it was the pleasure of getting to thank so many people. There wasn't enough time to thank everyone by name, but getting to thank the family that I've been traveling with for so long on this show. It's a terrible assumption that directing on Broadway is a prerequisite for directing on Broadway, and that can only lead to further exclusion, and we could extend that principle to any number of fields, right? And so for women and artists of color, in particular, those 2 communities that are vast, they're so ready to go. I mean, and I watch it exploding. There's this unbelievable renaissance happening both downtown, off-Broadway, regionally. It's everywhere but on Broadway. And so that's just a simple question of who's being hired. And that's very fixable, and so it feels very important, if there is something that's addressable, to address it as efficiently as possible. I mean, I'll steal a quote from Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg when asked, you know, when will it be enough? And she said, her answer is when there are 9. And so my answer is when there are 10. And a vast, you know, number of them are also artists of color. That will be good.
No, I was cautiously optimistic. I don't think any of us ever expects it. I think we dream about it. I got a little bit more hopeful when I heard Rachel's name, and I thought, oh, okay, maybe we can start something here, and I'm glad to see that we're off to a good start. But other than that, my mind just sort of went numb, and I was focused on not tripping over myself on the way up. I mean, this one it comes with a lot of love, just because the amount of time that we have spent developing this piece, the amount of time we've all spent, you know, we spent a winter in Canada to develop this piece in the far reaches of Edmonton, which was lovely, but you really get to know a group of people when you're stuck inside for 5 weeks in the Arctic. We spent 5 weeks out of town in London. You know, we've been developing this piece for so long as a family together, and it really feels like we're a family, and it's really thrilling to be able to celebrate as a family as well.
Shock? No, I totally was not expecting it. I'm delighted and shocked and all the things. And then I just went blank. I don't really know what happened after that. It's stunning. I mean, it's very hard to even really think about what it means. It's a lifetime goal. It's a dream even more than it's a goal, I think. And to have a chance to be in this room with these people and to receive this recognition from your peers, it's extraordinary. It's just extraordinary. This show is a complete act of passion for everybody involved. We've been working on it for years. It is hands down the hardest thing I have ever done, and to have that be the sort of just the nod that comes at the end of it is incredibly, I don't know, beautiful. I don't know what the words are. It's overwhelming.
Trying not to trip up the stairs, trying to remember what I wanted to say, trying to remember to thank important people. Yeah, it's an exciting and overwhelming moment.
I wasn't. I mean, I was sort of happy to have it go either way. I of course prepared a speech, which I needed to pull out of my pocket, and still sort of jumbled up the first bit of because I wasn't expecting it. But yeah, it's great.
I think any Tony that the show wins affirms that, you know, this is a very special piece of theater created by interesting, unusual people telling a kind of a story that maybe a few years ago wouldn't have had a place on Broadway, and that's exciting to know that we're working in a time where these things can be on Broadway and see a very big audience, and it's very exciting.
For me, it has to do with the music. I'm just in love with the music. Anais' score is incredible, and that was really what drew me to the story. Drew me to the show, as well as Nevin Steinberg. He drew me here. He dragged me here, kicking and screaming, and here we are. So the music is really where it is for me, and obviously the story is incredible.
No, you never expect it. You try not to. It is so important, and you try not to make it important. And you do. All the nominees believe that we've won because we were nominated. It's sort of an out-of-body thing. It's really pride. You sort of are representing everybody in your category when you accept this. This is the icing on an incredibly lush and delicious and very sweet cake. They know the movie, and one of the main goals we had is that when they come into our show, within 5 or 10 minutes, they forget the movie and engage with our story and take the journey with our characters, and that's what's happened. And you take a risk when you adapt something that is this iconic.
I mean, it's surreal. It's an amazing feeling. It's totally nerve-wracking. They made that joke, which I've made too. There's only 2 in this horse race, but Kiss Me Kate was incredible. The industry loves it. So, who knew, right? So it was both a surprise, but such a welcome, joyful surprise. I mean, it taught me 2 things, right? One is I want to be breathing life into these old classic American musicals for another 75 years because I'm not going anywhere. I got a good 30 plus years left, hopefully. And if I can do it with this great show, maybe there's more. And so just being able to show that progress can be made in the storytelling and the way we tell our stories with these classic musical canon shows is very rewarding and exciting for the future. I think the audience is changing. I think audiences want to be challenged. They want to see something new. They want to be emotional. They want a cathartic ending and a cathartic moment in their storytelling. That's why Netflix and Amazon and all the streaming series have gotten so deep and layered and are doing so well. People want that. They want that more than the fluff. And so I think that's why our show works.
To be able to come to this beautiful city and be embraced in the way and supported in the way that this community has embraced me and surrounded me with love. So many producers who have really stood by me all of these years. So all of that just coming to this moment, coming together in this moment is I can't even describe it. What is going on in this country right now is really heartbreaking, and this could happen if they just, moments like this can happen. We're only here to make a better life for ourselves.